triangular.
It's a triangular pyramid. By the way, that's what this next chapter will be about.
This is a triangle. This is a triangle. This is 4 triangles. This is 7 triangles. No, that is still a triangle.
Let's see, where are we at? PSAT practice. Yes, right there. That's what I want.
Still a triangle pyramid.
All right, come on, find your seats. Let's go. Let's not waste our times.
What is this on your camera? That is
All right, as promised, these are the more, not all of them, but some of them are the more challenging ones.
Oh, wow,
There are more challenging ones on this one than the previous one.
Oh, I'm glad I'm taking it tomorrow. Thank goodness none of us are taking it tomorrow. You are taking it tomorrow.
You're all taking it tomorrow,
We're not taking
except for McKinley,
Yes, because I am better than all of them.
because he's taking his driver's test or whatever.
Yeah, because he's actually I'm getting my picture taken, then I'm getting the rest of the day off. So like,
Well, you got to pass the test first.
I already did pass the test. I'm getting my picture.
So you literally just are doing nothing but getting the physical license?
Yep, that's it. And then because it's gonna be 9 o'clock, he's not gonna come back to school for the last 3 hours.
Well, that makes sense.
No, we're only going for.
You're only going to noon.
They're noon. Yeah, which is 3 hours. Well, yeah, I can't just join right in. We're starting right.
He can't walk in during the test.
Yeah, I can't come in. Baloney. How do I solve it?
All right, put it away. Come on, let's go. All right, same drill as previous ones. Last time it was, what do we think the easy or the hard ones were? So this time let's do it the other way. Let's see if we can pick an easy one. So Ben, pick an easy one.
Number 3.
Let's take a look at number 3. Is it an easy one? Yes or no? He just gave me a random number, but
3 is the best number in the world. I'll just dang it.
what do you think? Is this really an easy one?
Ooh, let me see. 3.
Do you think 3 is easy?
Let me see. Yeah. Oh, it is pretty. Yeah, it's not that difficult. It's just plug and chug.
Believe it or not, you can actually solve this algebraically. However, we're not going to do that. We're going to do plug and chug.
Plug and chug.
All right. Is there a better technique for plug and chug? Like, should we start with A, D, what? Is there a way of doing this?
C.
Why C?
Start with A. Because C just looks kind of.
Why start with A?
Start with A because it's the right answer.
Okay.
Why? Start with A because A is
Well, let's see. If we throw in X for 0, do we in fact get Y is equal to -4? No.
No, we get 0 equals 0.
No. If you throw X in for 0, you would get Y is equal to +4.
No.
You get 0 equals.
You can say no all you want.
You get -4 more.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay. So it's not A.
Right. I just did the math.
Me personally, I probably would have chose B first, only because everything's positive, the numbers are the small. I'm not saying that B is the answer, but that's my thinking. But I would start with the linear one first rather than jump to quadratic, because remember, it's got to be true for both of them. Well, let's see, 2 and 6. This is the 2 and this is the 6. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, now remember, because we got a quadratic up here, there potentially could be 2 answers, but only one of them, well, you can only have one answer for a linear. There's only one of them that would be true for the linear one. That's why I would start with the linear one. If you start the quadratic, 2 of them could be true. You know, if we, what does that factor to? X is it? Yeah, X -4, X + 1. That's what it factors to. So the 2 answers would be 4, -1. Well,
No.
4, -1. What am I making? Am I making?
No,
That's
no.
right.
Then you get
Oh,
X
plus. Sorry.
Wait, that would.
Sorry.
Wait, I caught that.
Sorry. So
What?
-4, +1. So
Stop
notice
talking.
one of the answers there, but the other one is. Okay. Okay.
Wait.
Throw these 2 values in, see if it makes it true.
It does.
Let's see, 2 and a 2. That's a 4, that's a 6, that's 10. 10 - 4 is in fact 6, so that does work. Okay. I did give you the answers. Look at the last page. We won't be able to get through all of these today, so.
It says 2 is A. Yeah, we're on
We're
3.
3.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's B. We're not doing 2. We're not doing
Well, if we do, at least it's an easy one. We already know the answer. What is 2?
A.
Yeah, but what are you supposed to do on number 2?
T and figure out the answer is A.
You take that equation and you do what?
You just divide by. what
Get
is
the
that?
answer
You
A.
just divide by T.
You just divide by T. All right.
Don't believe they're not giving me.
All right, McKinley, pick one. Pick one what's easy.
Well, none of these. Oh, any that look easy or?
Yeah, because remember, as you go through these, you're probably going to skip the one that's hard, but you're going to absolutely do the one that you think is easy. So you're going to read it. You're going to say, well, that one looks easy. I'm going to try this one.
I guess 13.
Now, if you have to think about it for more than a minute, then you're wasting your time type thing. And I would not suggest like skipping that far ahead. Like, I mean, you should go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. X coordinate of the vertex. You guys you could not do this
I
one.
could do this.
You couldn't do this because it's not a calculator one.
Oh, well,
If it was a calculator one, you could.
maybe I could.
I will say this, if you really remembered last year, we did this,
Oh, no, I can't do.
but you have to remember there's a formula involved. Ben, put the pyramid away. Come on. 13, does anyone remember the vertex formula for a quadratic? And usually the answer is no. Next year, you will remember this because you use it enough. The formula was for vertex was negative b, x for the x. So the vertex is of the form, x, y. It's it's either smiley face or frowny face. The vertex is right here. And there's an x and then a y. Although to confuse you, they're going to tell you it's h and k. That's just the variables they chose. And the formula for the x or the h value, does anybody? Any chance remembering this? It was negative b over 2a. Okay. So, and remember that all comes from standard form. So is that the standard form? Heck, no, it's not.
It's not.
Remember, standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0.
So it's x squared minus 6x plus. What's
Negative 72?
Yeah.
Negative 72
Yeah.
Yep. Negative 6x
plus x.
Okay, so putting this in standard form, you get y is equal to x squared. I'm just spoiling this out. There's negative 72, and there's a negative 6 and a positive 12x, so plus 6x. You see what we did? Oh, we just multiplied. So here's your A, here's your B, here's your C. So I'm telling you that you guys are, I'm not even sure why I'm showing this,
So it's
but
negative 3 b.
well, like I said, you got to remember the formula though.
Right.
So vertex form, the x value is, you take the b, you make it negative, so negative 6, and then 2 a's, 1. So it's negative 3, so it's b. They could have made it harder by saying what's the y value. So once you find the b value, pun intended because the answer literally is b, you throw it back in to find out what y is equal to. That's how you find the vertex. But you guys, next year in Algebra 2, you're going to do this a lot. Like, hey, find the vertex of the parabola, and every Algebra 2 pre-calculus student knows this formula, off the top of their head.
Yeah,
Because
why
you use
do
it
they
all the time.
Why do they not give us scratch paper to do this? That you can't. That's very hard to do in your head.
Well, notice, look at the space provided around the question. There's like lots of space there. By the way,
Actually allowed to mark
this, yeah. You missed that part. Did she come in and retell you that or no?
No.
She said we couldn't.
Okay, yeah, so you can. Maybe I just haven't told you that. So
Ooh,
you can
that's better.
write all your work in.
Goodness.
But all you needed space was this one little tiny formula. And like I said, by the time you get to be juniors, you can foil this in your head like that. It's a daily occurrence. Like, hey, take these two binomials, multiply them. You don't think it through, or you don't actually do much. If there were more numbers there, maybe you would, but that was pretty. But I would be surprised if you remember that for the test tomorrow. So, I mean, you're going to miss a few for sure. All right, go ahead, Jack.
Oh,
Choose a super easy one.
Pick an easy one.
okay, here's an easy one. 16.
Do you want to see an easy one? Look at 12.
I don't want to look at 12.
12 looks like it's impossible because you've never seen this before. 12 is an easy one. It's a medium, but it's an easy medium. Hey, what's the rule for power to a power?
You add, no, you multiply.
You multiply. So let's multiply. 1/2 times 2.
It's 1.
So we get x to the first power. 1/2 times 3.
Is 2/3. No,
3.
1
3
over
3
2.
halves. Okay. What's 1/3 times 2?
2/3.
What's 1/3 times 3?
1.
And what do you do when you multiply with the exponents?
You add.
Okay, so you can do x's with x's, y's with y's. I need common. Oh, that's a mess. I need common denominators, right?
2. 3.
So add. So you get x to the. And what does the question state? It says, what's a?
5.
Fine, you're done. You want to do the other one, then it's, well, this would be 2/2. You get 5 halves for that one. You've never seen this, and this is algebra 2 as well, too. You've never seen fractions as exponents, but if you had just followed the rules that you already knew, then, okay, that one's very easy.
So how do you multiply it times 1/2 times? If you had like 5 to the 1/2.
Well, it turns out, okay, I don't think this will be on the test, but it turns out when an exponent is a fraction, the top is the power. Guess what the bottom is? It's the index. It's what power of the square root, not square root, but the radical symbol is. Not power, that's called the index.
That's genius.
So for instance, a square root. So if you had x to the 1/2, and by the way, this is an easy way to take square roots with your calculators now, because you can write 1/2 as 0.5. You can now do 9 caret key 0.5, and that's the same as taking the square root, because so many times I'm like, oh, where's the square root button on my calculator? Just put to the 0.5, and that's how you take square root. If you want to take a third root, just 1 divided by 3. But by that time, well, yeah, but that's going to be an estimation. You just need to do 1, but that's only because you forget to hit the math key to find the cube root button. All right. Now we're back to, was it Jack still or no? 16? Okay. There was one problem here so far that I could not do, and then I couldn't do off the top of my head. Then I had to sit there for a solid 10 minutes and think about it. I finally got it, but I'm saying there's a couple hard ones here. Is this one of them? In the expression below, a is an integer.
You asked me to find an easy one.
This one's not an easy one. By the way, this is one of the ones fill in the blank.
Okay, yeah. You just got to factor it. Hold on.
Yeah, but you don't know what a is.
Amazing. Awesome. Allocative.
It says, what is the value of a?
Just subtract 3x plus 4 from it.
You can't do that.
Why? I could just.
It's already telling us like half of it. It's already telling us that in factored form, one part of it is 3x plus 4, and the other part is, well, I don't know.
ax minus 2. Maybe. No, I don't know.
This was a hard one.
Well, there's a solution. First, we need, since we know that it's 12x squared, we can automatically figure out that the first integer is 4x.
You see where he's getting that from?
You can also figure out.
Hold on. Let me catch up.
You can also figure out that the
And if that's positive,
then that has to be negative.
and what's the number?
Well, we figure out that the only way to get that is with 5, meaning that therefore negative.
How do we get to a though?
Equals negative 1.
No, it's 16 minus.
It would be the
16 minus
inside
1.
and the outside simplified.
So it's 1.
So it's 16x and a negative 15x, so therefore a is equal to
1. Oh, well,
Yay.
I said negative 1, so I'm partially correct. Yeah.
This one requires a little bit of thought. I don't know. 17 is the same. 17 I thought was the one that I could not. It took me 10 minutes to figure it out. I figured it out, but 17 was tough, I thought. Well, if you want to do 17, we'll save it toward the end.
I want to do it now. Right. His hands.
It's not worth it. It's not worth the effort. This one.
Somebody just has to say 17.
It's not worth the effort. All right, it's Allie's pick. 11.
Going back in time a little bit, are we? Not really.
Oh no.
Okay.
Triangle.
This one is an easy one. You should be able to figure this one out. Don't look at the answers.
Wait a minute.
This was the hardest that I always say. This comes from the hardest chapter in the geometry book. Though there's nothing you need to remember. They're moving dirt in the parking lot.
I
Oh,
got it. It's BD.
All right. What are we given?
We're given that these two triangles, the two triangles that we do not know of,
It's not. It's just a simple.
but it's pretty obvious for you what two triangles they are, have a ratio of the line segment AB to the line segment BC.
So I screamed on the top of my lungs many times. I said the chapter dealt with ratios. I simply said, pick a pattern and stick with it. So what's the pattern?
AB over BC.
What's the pattern? You got to give me words
Big
though.
over small.
What?
Yeah, big over.
Is it big over small?
It's medium over small.
You see that? We're talking about the big triangle. How do I know big triangle? Because I got sides AB and BC. Sides AB, well, it could be part of this triangle, but BC is part of, well, then it's therefore the big triangle. So the big triangle has this piece, that piece. It said it's to scale unless otherwise noted, so it doesn't say not to scale. Therefore, AC would be the long. So this one is medium to small side of the triangle. You see that?
Yeah.
So there's three triangles here. Here's three more ratio. Is there a D as well too?
Yes.
There's four of them. You just got to pick the other one that says medium to small. All right, BD and DC. What part of what triangle is that part of? So I'm just looking at the small triangle. This one's a little bit harder. Where's the big side?
On the
It says BC. We don't want long. It's not that one. We want medium and small.
So it's medium is BD and the small
So
is BC.
yeah, but we don't know what triangle they're going to call up. So C is what triangle?
It doesn't matter.
It does because they're defining the ratio. We have to know what triangle they're referring to.
C is the medium.
It can't be that other triangle though, because that's the long side of the other triangle.
Right, but I'm saying we need it to say medium over small.
You want me to prove all of them?
So
or do you want
we
me to just
go,
say A?
we have to go through their answers. So AD and BD are part of what triangle?
The other one.
All right, so I'm looking at the other one. Which is the longest side of that one?
AB.
Does it have an AB in it? It doesn't, but we have to go medium because they could go small over medium, right? Are they going small over medium or medium over small?
Small over medium. No,
They're
medium
going
over
large
small.
over me. No, large over small.
They're going this side over BD, so I'm saying that's medium over
Yeah,
small.
it's medium over small. But
So
it doesn't
it's
matter because they're not
C.
similar triangles.
C.
But they're not similar triangles. Wait, let me go to the answer
It's
key in the
A.
back.
It's
A, not
A.
C.
Why is it A?
Because A is the one that's similar triangle, whereas the other one's not.
Agreed, but BD is what? Small, medium, or large?
BD is medium.
What is DC?
It's small. I said this
All
already.
right, so it's got to be A. We do have to consider the other one though.
You can't though, because it's not similar, so it's
It
not.
says
proportional.
which of the following, which could be plural.
But it doesn't have, it can't be though.
Why
Because
can't it be?
It's not similar, so it's not
If
proportional.
it's not similar, then he is correct. So why is it not similar?
Because it only has one angle that's the same.
How do you know it's only one angle?
Because it doesn't share B and it doesn't share C.
How do you know? Is it labeled?
Because there has to be 28 taken away.
I'm just saying, how do you know? Can we determine
I
what
can
are the
tell
other
you
angle
why.
measurements?
Yes.
How?
Well, you can figure them out.
How?
Well, you can figure out that they're not similar.
There's no other numbers.
If you're telling me that they're already this similar, what do you mean?
There's no other numbers up there. Now, you could make the argument of saying that, well, since it's to scale, I could take a
Yes.
protractor. That's true.
Well, you can tell that the big triangle is similar to the small triangle because they share.
Yeah,
angle
because they
C,
share A,
and
C, and they have
28
28.
is the same.
They share that. So there's your angle for that one.
Yeah,
So
but
that, so
that's-
absolutely positive.
But medium isn't, because it can't be.
But how, okay, I will agree that you might make an argument for this angle versus this angle are not congruent.
I know, but
But
you
you
have to
you can't give me an argument for this angle and that angle. How do you know they're not the same?
just, you could, they're literally not the same.
Well, how do you know?
Just the way you look at it.
Okay, so
Oh,
like
no,
I
no,
said,
I know
since it's,
why, I know why,
Why?
because, it looks like if
It
you're looking at
looks
scale,
like-
that AB and AD.
better have a protractor.
They look to be similar, but not like similar in the other way. They're like,
So they kind of look alike is your argument.
yes.
All right.
And if B has 28 taken away from it, and you have, if ABD has 28 taken away from angle B, angle ABC, then since the two.
Well,
angles
it
are
could be
correct,
acute or it could be obtuse if you take 28 away from it.
Separate all the triangles too, you can kind of tell which ones
Yeah.
are similar.
That's probably a better argument. But like I said, let's not go down that route.
You're not listening.
By the way, we don't need it to find the answer. We already found the answer. All right, who are we on? Anna? Number 4. There's 2 ways of doing this. We could either solve it or we could do plug and chug. What do you want?
Plug and chug.
Solve it? Okay, let's solve it.
Plug and chug.
Solve it. Moving all the x squared to one side. We get 4x is equal to 3 plus x squared. Move the 4x to the other side. We get x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. Factor solve.
No.
Factor solve.
3 and 1, -3, -1.
Okay. Therefore, that gives us what as an answer?
X minus 3x, so it's -3 and 1.
No.
So it's A.
No.
No, it's 3 and 1. So it's C.
3 and 1. And there's only one of those up there at C. Okay, so there's your, are you going to remember that one? Oh, I hope you do, but let's do plug and chug since we already know 3 is the answer. 3 squared is 9, 9 times 2 is 18, 3 times 4 is 12, so we got 18 plus 12. Now on the other side, we have 3 plus 27, and that's also 30. The plug and chug will work, but once again, plug and chug, you know, with our luck, it's for the last one that you do, and
That's why you start
And then
with
you
B,
still-
and then you do B, and then you do A.
and then you
C.
still make a mistake and
But
you get
then
it
you
wrong.
just made a mistake and now C's your last one.
Oh.
That's the only issue with plug and chug is you won't know if you made a
It's
mistake.
always the last one.
All right.
Well, you start with one in the middle. So in this case, you start with.
I would have started with 0 simply because the math
And
is
then
easy.
if depending
Then I would have done 3 because I don't want to mess with
Well,
negative
you can tell
numbers.
that it can't be 0 because that means 3 equals 0.
Right, and then because we know.
Right.
We know
You don't even have to do any math there for that one. All right, Ben, pick one.
Let's do 17.
Calculator, non-calculator?
Non-calculator.
Non-calculator.
Love this.
We did in the previous class. Oh, you seriously? This is like,
Why are you gonna pick
He
that?
picked it because you said you did.
I guess where he was gonna-
well, then I'm not going to say anything. You got to figure it out.
Okay. So
Alright, Nobody figured out we have 3 people.
It's not gonna benefit you.
It might.
This one is challenging.
X, Y.
And by the way, it's not multiple choice.
Oh, so it just wants to know what A, B, C, and D equal.
No.
No. And then put it in the parentheses.
They want
Yes.
to know what X and Y is.
Oh wait, I get it. So you can't figure out what.
But
X and
but
Y
even
is.
that isn't the final answer.
No, the final answer is getting it.
They want to know what is the middle term,
Yeah, that middle number.
the middle number, the coefficient, because that's what XY was. Notice if we FOILed this out, you get an X squared, you get a Y squared, and the middle term would have both an X and a Y. They say, what's the middle term? Looks impossible.
No, it doesn't. That's baloney.
Stuck at an impasse.
But you are given a little bit of information.
That's enough for me.
That's not enough for me. I'm stuck at 36.
There might be a more elegant way of doing this. I found out by just doing some guess and check. Okay. We know this is true, right? This looks like the
Wait, I'm
step
doing it.
after cross
Ah, I'm
multiplication,
doing it.
right? If I give you cross multiplication, the first thing you do is the cross multiplication, and it looks like this. So if I write this back in the form of the proportion,
So it's A over B.
no,
A over B
A over B is equals
D over
D over C. And that would A times, wait, I screwed it up. A over, A has to be multiplied by D. So D goes down here, and then B and C. There we go. So that gives me A, B, and B, C. Okay. Well, I know what these two multiplied across gives us what?
18.
Well, how do you get to an 18? Oh, by the way, it says non-zero, so there's no zeros involved, and they're integers. So where it says integers. Doesn't it say integers?
Those are constant.
You know what? I assume they were integers, and well, it works out they're integers. Okay. So how do you get to 18?
they're constants.
Well, you
No,
can
they
get-
could be fractions.
You can get to 18 through millions of different ways.
What's the first way if it's non-zero?
1 through 18.
1 times 18. So that means that A could be a 1 and C has to be an 18, right? Or a 2 and a,
9,
or a
3 and an 8.
3 and a 6.
Yeah.
That's the only way you get to 18 if they're integers.
50.
How do you get to 50?
You get to 50. 1 to 50, 2 to 25, 5 to 10, and 4 to 8. No.
Yeah, nice luck there. Okay, that's it, right?
Yeah.
Well, the only nice thing is that there's 3 in here, 3 here. We can go through all the permutations really quickly. We need that when we do cross multiplication, that they're equal to each other. That means if I assume that this is true, that A is 1 and C is 18, then when I multiply the 1 times the D, I get a number that's the same as this times that. Okay, well, let's just go through the possibilities. Could it be this one?
No.
Because then you'd write 1 times 50, 18. No. How about this one? 1 times 25, is that the same as 18 times 2?
No.
Is it this one? 1 times 10, 18 times 5.
No,
Well, it wasn't this one.
it's gonna be lower. It's probably gonna be 3.
How about 2 and 9?
So, 2,
2
It's
times
not- it's not
50,
the first one.
no.
2 times 25, 50, 9 times 18. 2 times 10 is 20. No.
That's why I said it's probably gonna be 3 and 6.
Well, here's the only trick thing is that these could also be written that way. So could
What?
these. So there's lots of permutations here.
So.
3 times 50, not the same as
No.
6 times 1. 3 times 25, 75, not the same. 3 times 10,
30,
6 times 5.
30.
Sweet Jesus, thank God.
So we
Woo.
know what they all are now. A
So-
equals 3, B equals 5, C equals 6, and D equals 10.
But remember what it was asking us to solve.
We want to find out the constant number that nobody likes.
So now I'm going to write what it says. What did we say A was?
3 times x
Plus B was.
5.
And I'm going to already hit right because I like to FOIL when they're top and bottom. C was.
6 and then 10.
Was it a negative or positive? It's positive, right? No, it's minus.
Negative.
Minus 10.
10. Y.
Okay. Where does the middle term come from when you do this?
Outsides plus insides.
Comes from this times that.
Oh, there's a much easier way to solve this.
3x times 10y,
Negative 10.
You guys are way over.
negative 30. 5 times 6.
30.
So what do you get?
0.
And we're done.
Wait, you can figure it out easier.
Talk.
Because if you multiply AX and CX like you would regularly, you'd get AC. So
ACX squared.
So you would get 18x squared.
Oh, keep talking.
And then same way for B and D at the end. So you get 50y squared.
Keep talking.
And then you have in the middle, you have AD and BC, and they equal each other.
You got to say that one more time.
Oh.
I get
That's
ACX squared.
actually
That's what you
really
said.
good
And the
work.
last one would be
Would be
negative
no, not negative.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Negative
BDY squared. Now, what do you want to say?
So AC equals 18. So you can put 18x squared. And then BD equals 50 squared.
I'm going to leave that here for a second. 18x squared and minus 50.
And then you in the middle, you get AD and BC, so that equal each other. So if they equal each other and they're subtracted,
Whoa. Now, what are you saying?
so you in the middle, you get AD minus BC XY, which means
In
if
the
they're
middle, you
subtracted from
get-
each other,
This and that.
so if you get those and they're subtracted
You
from
get
each other, you
A-
get 0.
X, AX, DY,
Yeah,
and
and BXCY, or no. Yes.
BYCX.
BYCX. So what are you saying?
And if AD equals BC, and
Well,
one
if
of those
A what?
if AD equals BC and the commutative property, and one of them is negative, and then they're subtracted from each other because they're equal, then it has to be
All
0.
right, I like that. That's yeah.
That's a
That'll
pretty
work.
good one.
That'll work. That'll work.
Confusing, but yeah, that works.
It's much easier than going through all of the permutations.
Well, by the way, we found it out in the same amount of time it took you to say that.
Well, because you kept telling me to stop.
This is one of the. This is one of those ones that I would expect there might be a couple of you that could get this one, you know? This is what separates the perfect score from the non-perfect score. Okay. Who are we on?
McKinley.
McKinley. We did finally find one that you needed a calculator. Oh, not because you really need one, but because the numbers were just ugly. We never found one like literally, I'm not going to get to an answer without a calculator.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Non-calculated.
Find out yourself.
It's not calculator. Wait, calculator?
No, this is non-calculator. All right. This is an easy one. Absolutely, positively. Hey, look what it says. Look at the question mark. What does it say? It's a system of equations, but we just need to find out x.
So you multiply by 3.
So don't get rid of x, get rid of,
Why?
or,
I don't see it.
you know, worst comes to worst, throw values in.
So multiply the bottom by 2 and the top by 5.
I would agree. Or negative. One of them's got to be negative.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do?
Multiply the bottom equation by 2.
Modification by
Let's do negative.
-2 and the top one by 5.
Yes.
So we get negative 15x minus 20y.
No, you get negative 2x.
No, you said multiply top by 5.
Right. Oh, I thought you were doing the bottom.
Equals 100. And the bottom by -2. So negative 2x plus 20y, -2, right?
Yeah.
Minus 32.
Then you.
Add.
Yep.
Negative 17x is equal to, well, I sure hope that's divisible. 68, negative 68.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
That's
4? Is that 4?
Negative 4.
Negative 4.
So C.
There we go.
I did it. I am math.
You remember when I taught you this last year? I said everybody that learns this and does this eventually says, let's just use elimination. It's the easiest one. You could solve it by substitution, you know, okay, solve the top one for y and then throw that in and solve for x, but
I'd solve the bottom.
nobody does that.
I'd solve the. Oh, yeah. Well, that's annoying.
Because we got to solve for x, so you still have to solve for y. With a graphing calculator, notice neither one of these is solved for y, so you could use a graphing calculator, but you have to make both equations be solved for y, so that would be a pain in the butt. The only nice thing about the graphing calculator is because you wouldn't have to do any division. You could just put them in parentheses, even if it was ugly division, and leave it that way. All right. We on. Jack?
What? Oh, okay. Let's find a hard one.
So we're looking for easy ones.
Non-calculator 7. That looks like a lot of decimals.
Uncalculator 7?
Yes.
That is a lot.
That's not.
We didn't do this one, so I haven't seen this one. Let's see. Giovanni
Oh, it's not that hard.
wants to buy shirts that cost $19.40 each and sweaters $2.40. 8% sales tax will be applied to the entire purchase. Giovanni buy 2 shirts. Which equation relates the number of sweaters, P, and the total cost of dollars? The tax was what?
8%.
So where do you see 8% written somewhere?
A.
I see it in A. There's 1%. Remember, from the other day, we said 1%. Or 8% has to have a 1.08.
And C.
I'm not 100% sure, but that kind of sounds reasonable. A 0.92, boy, you'd have to do some serious math to ever be able to use a 0.92 for 8%. But I'm saying, yeah, A or
C.
C. Okay. Usually these ones, you're simply looking at what they screwed up. Sweaters are $24.80.
Oh, it's A.
And I have to multiply that by, is
Yeah.
P the number of sweaters?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there we go. And then what's the 38.80?
2 shirts that put together.
Yeah, they're just taking that and doubling. Okay, well, that wasn't bad. So ugly number. By the way, did they actually want us to do any math here?
Nope.
No. Well, double 1940 in your head. Okay. Just make sure you're always checking your answers in the back, because you can get awfully sure of yourself and then all of a sudden you find out, well, that's not the answer, and it's because you made a silly mistake on something.
Me, every test I take.
All right. Allie? Giovanni is Italian for George. Is it George?
Gerald.
Gerald? All right.
7 on the calculator.
7 on the calculator.
Hey, you can't leave with no calculators on. That's illegal. How dare you?
You
You
didn't
must
go
go
to
to
the
prison
calculator.
for treason against the empire.
Yeah, treason against the Republic. We just did something.
An advertisement states that the printing rate of a certain printer is 40 characters per second. According to the convention that one word consists of 5 characters. Believe it or not, that's actually true. When you calculate things, all words are 5 letters long, and then use that as convention as calculating for like a book or something like that. You just consider every word 5. According to the convention that one word consists of 5 characters, what would be the advertised printing rate per words per minute?
That's not that high.
Well, okay, what's a calculator? But the number's 400, so
You just take 400 times 60 divided by 2,
y times 60.
Yeah, per
5.
second.
That's
It's
how
per
much
second.
second.
We got to have it per minute, and then we have to divide by.
We get 24, and then you get the first number, and then you add back, it's
All right, so 2,400 divided by 5 is.
48,000.
I'm sorry, 24,000.
It's B, right? Yeah, it's B.
Yeah, 24,000 divided by 5.
Yeah, that's just what I said.
Did you, Ben?
You said
I'm
the
gonna
answer was
scan
C.
these, make sure you're right.
All right,
You got the design. Yeah, I know.
so there's one where absolutely positively, this is the second time where I've seen, okay, a calculator, I would definitely use it for this one, but not necessary. Those numbers weren't that bad. All right, Anna.
Choose wisely.
4 in the calculator.
Anna, this is so illegal what you two are doing.
All right, so what kind of plot is that? That's not 4? All right.
That's a formatting
All right.
mistake.
I just want to make sure it's not referring to another one. I tried to do one earlier today, and it said refer to this one. I didn't see that. Now I'm like, oh, you can't figure this out. When the equation y equals 5x plus p, where p is a constant. Once again, the word constant just means
Not a decimal.
it could be though. Pi is a constant. It just means it's a number without a variable. Constant means a number without a variable. Could be a fraction, decimal, integer, whatever. Where p is a constant is graphed on the L. I like this one. All right. So when the equation this is graphed in the xy plane, the line passes through -2, +1. Positive or negative slope.
Positive.
Okay, so I know it's going to go up like that way. What is the value of p? So basically, we're trying to find what is the, and that is the y-intercept. What do you know about any point on the y-axis? If I were to write the number, at that point right there, it would be,
0 something.
if I wrote this point, it would be,
0 negative.
so you know for any point on the y-axis, it goes,
0.
and now we have p. There's the equation.
You've already got the slope.
We already got the slope.
It's 5, so
So
we
it's
have
10.
we already have a number.
So wait, it's 11. It's D.
Where are you getting that from?
Because if you go, it's 2 over from the Y. If you get what I'm saying, it's 2 points away from the Y-axis. So if you
Okay.
if you're going up by 5 and over by 1.
You're assuming that it does, right? But you're assuming that it absolutely has to happen at an integer. Doesn't have to,
Well, yeah, I mean, if you go up by 5, go over by 1, go up by 5, go over by 1, then you're gonna get 11.
okay? So that's the case right here, because notice we have to go up 5 over 1 and then do it one more time. So if you go up 10 and
you
then
already
over
started at-
2, where are you at?
You already started at 1, so you're
And we already started at 1. If we go
Wow.
up 10, then
Is
you're
the
at 11.
Okay.
Okay. No calculator needed for that.
I mean, you could graph it. Yeah, you could.
We did it. I mean, literally, that's what we did.
Okay.
All right, back to Ben.
yeah. No, it's
We just did Anna.
That was Allie, right?
No.
oh okay. Well, my indecisive brain
I'm
says,
still waiting to use one of these formulas.
Let's do 1,
On the
Do not say
3,
number 1 on the calculator?
No,
non-calculator.
1 on the non-calculator?
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Ben, you want to write Have it.
You have 10 seconds.
All right.
9,
This is a fine-
8,
this is Form the
7,
Oh my god.
6,
This is so easy.
5. If you say A, I will throw things at you. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Isn't it
What's the answer?
B?
Yep, there you go.
You say Bravo or Delta?
Delta.
Delta.
Delta. Yeah, I still had my other class. A couple people get suckered into A. Just remember, you can only add
Hey,
like
you asked
terms.
For an easy one.
Well, it is an easy one, right?
A little too.
All right, McKinley.
All right, this is good. You dare tell me what to choose? No, I would not like to choose.
Oh, what number?
He's thinking, what do you think you do? See, what's a question that no one will get?
We're looking for easy ones. Ben's the only one that's doing it right.
Do number. 14.
I even chose number 3, which was the easiest of
We're not
easy.
14
intentionally
with
choosing
14.
hard ones.
14 for a second. Non-calculator.
14?
Yeah, non-calculator.
Not calculator 14.
Cool.
On this
Computer
is not.
stall.
This is not. Yeah, I looked.
Notice there's no. Oh, this is a good one to talk about. It's not hard, but hey, what are the key words there?
It's not.
A is a constant.
Okay, so it's a whole number, or it's a number.
Infinite number. of
Infinite solutions. Where have we seen that before? Infinite solutions. You've solved equations and you got infinite solutions. When does that happen?
14 equals 14.
You have to get something that's true.
Right.
Could be 0 equals 0, right?
Well, I just saw 14
Right.
there. And I
So
figured
we
I'd
need to
figure
get that equation to say, we need the variables to drop away and we need to say something equals something. So why don't we just do the distributive property? We do the distributive property, we get 21x plus 14 equals 21x plus 7a. So what does a have to be?
Two.
You're done. Remember, they're going to give you 4 boxes to plug in number 2. Where can the 2 go? Anywhere, but it doesn't count unless you bubble in 2. Don't forget to bubble in 2. And if it's -2, then you got to put negative there. And if it's, I don't know, 1/2, you got to put, slash.
I do
No
that.
mixed numbers.
I have a question. What if I get 11 over 22? Yes, Ben?
Yeah, clearly that can't be a possibility. Raise the decimal.
Not fair. What if I get a repeating decimal?
It has that example. They said you can either round it or truncate it. Truncated just means you literally stop it.
What if you get pi?
3.14. You're not.
Why would you do that?
That's truncation. Well, that's rounding for there. Okay. Who we on?
Jack. Yeah? Choose something.
Yeah.
Not in calculator section. That is against the rule. Ooh, 20 calculator section.
20 calculator.
Functions.
Did we do this one?
Jack.
Jack.
This is not easy.
This looks
He's
crazy.
intentionally choosing.
Well, I don't know.
A rational function is defined above, so that just means a function. Remember, that's one where every member of the domain goes to one member of the range. Which of the following is equivalent? So they just want you to do some factoring and reduce. That's it. Just be careful factoring the second one. Make sure you do it correctly. The top factors to
Oh, I was right. Okay. So 2x minus 4.
the bottom.
Yeah.
2 times -4 is -8. So that's what? Multiplied +4 and -2. So let's see, 2x squared minus 2x plus 4x minus 4, parentheses, 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 factor out of 2x, x minus 1.
Okay.
And on this one, factor out of 2 plus 2, and we get 2, no, 4, x minus 1. All right, so it factors to 2x plus 4.
2x plus 4x plus 1.
And x minus 1. But look at this one. What can factor out of it?
2.
A 2. So if I factored a 2 out of that, I would wind up with a 2 on the outside and a x plus 2.
I guessed it correctly. So B. But why isn't it A? So you can just take a 2 out of all of them.
You could, because it say how many?
Which of the is an equivalent form that displays value is not included in the domain? Oh, okay. So it's the one not.
Did we factor that right? Did I make a mistake?
It is B, the answer.
Yeah, but I didn't get B though.
No, you did.
Oh, they just didn't cancel. Duh. Well, does it say how many? Let me read it. Which of the following could be more than one? If you factor 2 out of this, let's just make sure we didn't make a silly mistake. And get x squared plus x minus 2. Is that what it says? It's A and B. It's A and B.
But I think it says which of the following is an equivalent form that specifies value is not included in the domain as constants or.
Oh, you guys haven't talked. We have not talked about domain. Okay, so here's the problem. The domain are the allowable values that you can throw in, right? The allowable values means what could you throw into here that would turn into a 0, because you could never have 0 in the bottom. So turns out that that's basically this solved. So I cannot allow the domain, I'm not allowed to use either -2 or +1 in this entire thing. So the domain are all real numbers except -2 and we have not done this. We will do this. This is algebra 2 in pre-calculus.
Yes, I know. Yes.
So if I can't let it be that, then therefore I need to. Is it saying B is the answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're not allowing you to cancel those 2's. Okay. Helps to read. And the reason why you have to leave it that way is because if you factor it right here, the 2's canceled out, you don't get a domain in here. So if you solve this one, that would be x plus 2x minus x minus 1 as well too. You lost that 2 though. Okay. There's probably the first one that. What was that response for?
Jack's mind's been broken.
Jack.
He's entered
No
a stage
strokes.
of confusion and depression. We have to get him out before he gets lost in
I just
forever.
grabbed this and I've got the weirdest little.
So you got what are called asymptotes.
No, I know what an asymptote is. I don't know what this is.
Well, there's horizontal, vertical. Yeah, those are asymptotes. So you got an asymptote here, here, and a horizontal one here. And this is what pre-calculus is all about right here.
Okay, you gotta find the area.
No, not area. Pre-calculus is all about taking a weird rational function like that, graphing it, and finding what it looks like.
And it needs 100,000.
Remember that when we do it the first time in pre-calculus. Okay, Allie, one more on calculator. 29, let's see. One before.
We didn't finish the non-calculator section.
Yeah,
It's a sin to do that. It's
Oh.
right in the 10
What is one possible value of the product of x and y? That means x times y. Remember, when we solve this one, since the top one is a quadratic, we're going to get 2 answers. So you're going to get 2 possible answers, not 1, for your x and your y. You're going to get 2 points. Think about that when you have a parabola and a line. When they intersect, they could intersect at 2 points. So you get xy here. And then what they're saying is multiply them 2 together. So you would have these 2 multiplied together or these 2. The question is, how are you going to find these? Why is this on the calculator portion? You can graph both of these and then do the same thing. Now, here's the deal. You guys stay here a second. When you graph this is what your graph is going to look like. So when you do the calc intersections, you have to pay attention.
I know how to do this.
You've never done one like this.
Yes, I have.
Okay. How do you find that point?
You gotta find you gotta push trace, not trace. You gotta push calc, you gotta push intersection, you gotta put on the right domain, you gotta come in.
He knows what it is. Okay. So you're going to have to, once you say, it's going to say, what is your first curve? It'll be like on the line. What's your second curve? And then it's going to say, what is your left domain? What is your right domain? You have to select somewhere here and here to get that point. And then you got to do the whole thing again, left and right to find that one, to find both of them. Ben, you showed up.
Yeah.
You want your homework.
Yeah, I do.
And you probably need an explanation of how it's done.
Maybe.
Wait, Ben, you were gone?
Yeah, I wasn't here
Who
because
do you work the best with and we work quietly with?
Pierce uses.
Okay, you get with Pierce.
Okay.
And if Pierce can't help you, I'll help you. Okay?
All right. Well, no, I was at the doctor's office, and we had to do we were doing physicals for